as a sole proprietor, let's say you're a plumber. You go out to a job, something goes wrong, there's damage at the house. The person suing you can reach not only all your plumbing equipment, the truck and the tools, but they can get all of your personal assets as well. So in some areas, people are extremely litigious. In the United States, we are a very litigious society.
They sue all the time.
All the time. They did a survey in the state of Louisiana. They asked the people, how are you going to get rich? The first way to get rich was winning the lottery, right? The second way to get rich was the litigation lottery, to sue someone.
That's why you see on TV, all these guys, in a wreck, get a check. Sue the guy that hits you, right?
And if you don't have your assets protected, they can not only go after your insurance, but they can go after your personal assets, the equity in your house, your business, your real estate, if you hold it in your individual name. So the why is we live in a very litigious society. The solution is to set up these entities right at the start, right as you get going with that first investment, with your first business. Before, we need to set up these entities so that you're protected right from the start.
So I'll just say it again, poor and middle class people, like my poor dad, oh, my house is in my name. What's wrong with that?
If your dad was sued, they could reach the equity in the house, all right? And so there are certain asset protection techniques that we use. Every state's a little different, but we want to protect the equity in your house. We want to protect the equity in your rental real estate. And so we have to take steps.
Or your stock portfolio.
Exactly right. If you have a brokerage account, you can use an LLC to hold that account and be much better protected if there's a lawsuit.
So would you mind giving us some of the entities you use?
Sure. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And on the bad entities would be a sole proprietorship. And that's where you do business in your individual name, right? There's absolutely no protection here. All of your assets are exposed to a claim.
A lot of people have those.
By default, you get into business, and if you don't form a corporation, you're a sole proprietor, and all of your assets are exposed. We also have the ugly entities. These are the ones we really don't want to get involved with, and that would be the general partnership. And this is liability times 2. And I just went down the line there. General partnership, if you shake hands with someone to get into a business, you have become their partner. They can obligate the business, and you're personally responsible for what they obligated the business for.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
There was a company, a lumber company here in Phoenix, and there was 2 people got together and they shook hands and they formed as a general partnership.
Right.
One partner's daughter ran over somebody. And what happened then?
The other partner was personally responsible for that accident.
The other partner's kid.
Right. So that's the ugly way to do business, and it can happen with a handshake. It's called innocent formation. You shake hands with someone, you get into business, you're personally responsible, not only for your own mistakes, but your partner's mistakes. So you'll never do business as a general partnership. Then we have the good entities. And the government gives us good ways to do business, good ways to protect ourselves. And these are LLCs, LPs, and corporations. These are the good ones. LLCs stand for limited liability company. Limited partners, LP stands for limited partnership. And then we have corporations. These are the ways you're going to move forward.
C Corp.
We have different taxation. You have a C Corp, which is double taxed. We have the S Corp, which is a flow-through tax. There's only one tax. You're going to work with your CPA on what is best for you. If you have a piece of rental property and it's worth $300,000 and you've borrowed $250,000, the bank has first dibs on the $250,000. So if you're sued, the tenant suing, for example, would only get the $50,000. So debt is a form of asset protection. You still want to use these LLCs to protect the $30,000 in equity, But you can use debt, and Robert advocates using debt anyway. If you haven't moved the assets, your business, your real estate, into LLCs or corporations, once you've been sued, it's too late. You can't move assets into protective entities once you've been sued, which means you have to do this right now.
Yeah, it's like you have a car, but you don't have car insurance.
Right.
So you get in a wreck. Well, you can't buy insurance after you're in a wreck. And the same as you have a house. You can't buy insurance after the house burns down. So the reason it's very important for advanced millennial money is to know what you have to do before you get rich.
And that's a good point. It's insurance for your business, for all of your assets.
I explain to clients that this is just another form of insurance, right? You're setting up an entity, you're going to have to pay an annual fee to the state, but it's a form of insurance.
What does SOL stand for?
Well, in the business world, if you're a sole proprietor, that means you're out on your own, you have no other partners, it's just you, and it's a way to do business.
And everything's in your name.
Everything is in your name, you're operating in your name. And so as a sole proprietor, let's say you're a plumber, you go out to a job, something goes wrong, there's damage at the house, the person suing you can reach not only all your plumbing equipment, the truck and the tools, but they can get all of your personal assets as well.
They can take your house.
They can take the equity in your house, your car,
Because it's all in your individual name.
So you, the plumber, had a claim against you, they can get whatever you own in your name. So like Robert says, the rich don't want to own things in their personal name. They want to use these entities. So SOL is a way to explain what happens if you don't use an entity. Someday, you'll lose everything.
So Kim, if we hadn't followed Garrett's advice when we had nothing, would we have lost everything?
We would have lost pretty much everything. We had,
Right.
yes. We had a situation that happened, and thank God that Garrett had protected our assets the way you had, and because of that, we are fine.
Well, and Robert, you're a great teacher, but you're also a good student. You listen to people who give you advice on how to protect yourself.
We listen to smart people who know what they're doing and practice this every single day. You do this every single day,
all I
Garrett.
do.
Yep.